I was wrong about a couple things on the last video, and that's fine because I had the emotional capacity that I meant when I was wrong about stuff. Nah, so yesterday I made that video on how Charlie Kirk's assassin was not a trained sniper. I was 100% right about that. That part was obvious. I knew I was not going to be wrong when it came to that. So what was I wrong about? It was two things. Well, one thing I know for sure. The other thing I am pretty sure I was wrong about, I don't know. But the first one, I was wrong about the gun. Again, I said I assumed he probably would have used an AR-15 to do this, because you can break him down and hide him in a bag and get out of there. Apparently, he used either a 308 or a 30-06 hunting rifle with a scope on it. So two things I take away from that is one, that makes that shot even easier. You got a solid long rifle, a higher caliber, and a scope. That's magnification, means it makes it look closer. That shot's even easier now. 200 yards, again, like I said, to me, trained military, not a trained sniper, but military, 200 yards is easy. But a hunting rifle with a scope, even easier. So the other thing I want to take away from this is I'm glad it was not an AR. I'm happy that it wasn't an AR. I didn't want it to be an AR. I just assumed he'd used one. But why am I happy? Is because people keep demonizing the AR-15 as if it's a walking, breathing monster. And you can't do that now, can you? Huh? Lefties, you can't. You can't demonize that gun. Now you gotta look at the fact that he used one of the most unbannable guns in the country. You can't ban a hunting rifle. Why? Why can't you ban it? Well, because Constitution, Second Amendment says you can't ban weapons that are in common use. And guess what also is in common use? AR-15, most popular rifle in the country. You can't ban that. So again, let's stop going after the guns. Okay? That just proves more to a guy's right. Stop going after the guns. You ban AR-15s, they're going to use hunting rifles and shotguns like they did before. Or knives or bombs. Like, you can't. You stop with that argument. Let's just stop right there. It's a dumb argument. Two, what else was I wrong about? I said it was probably gonna be a member of the Pronoun Patrol and a leftist, radical leftist. I did say radical leftist. I don't know if I said a leftist. I don't know. I meant radical leftist. Yeah, train. So apparently this kid came from a conservative family that was formerly Mormon, religious. I don't know. More than likely voted for Trump. But the bigger thing here is that he was not conservative. Liberals are looking at this like, oh, this kid was conservative. He was one of you. I'm not conservative again. He was not one of the conservatives. He was not conservative. He was a far-right extremist. And this is the distinction I need to make here, because most conservatives are normal people. They're level-headed, intelligent, normal people that just want to live peaceful lives. Far-right extremists are not those people. I've said before, the far right in this country is just as bad as the far left. I have said that multiple times on this channel. So again, I was right about the far right being as bad as the far left. But I was wrong about the kid being leftist. He wasn't. He was a far right extremist. And how did that happen? If his family was so normal? Because his dad turned him in. Apparently this kid confessed to his dad that he did it. Probably gloated about it, probably bragged about it, because he thought he was in the right. His dad detained him, called the police. So how did this happen if this kid's family was so normal? Well, because he was radicalized online. How do I know that? Well, with the gun they found, the rounds that were left in it had engravings of just a bunch of stuff from internet meme culture, anti-fascist rhetoric, which okay, apparently I don't know who Nick Fuentes is, but apparently this kid idolized this dude, and Nick Fuentes had a falling out with Charlie Kirk. I don't even know who Nick Fuentes is. I don't know, but Nick Fuentes is apparently a super far right person, and he didn't think that Charlie Kirk was far right enough. So this kid idolized this super far right guy and thought that Charlie Kirk needed to die because he wasn't far right enough. Once again, proving me right about how the far right is super fucking crazy. I've said it before. I go after the left a lot, but I have said the far right are crazy. The trend has just been over the last few years. School shootings, mass shootings, people getting stabbed on trains, and burning in the streets, riots, things like that. It's been super leftist. Not normal liberals, okay? Not normal liberals. Again, no, normal people just stay home, they stay out of this shit. But radical leftists are going out there causing all this damage and violence. That's been the trend. That's why when this happened, Charlie Kirk's a conservative commentator, so of course when it happened, most people are going to assume that it was a radical leftist that did this. No, a radical far-right extremist that had become radicalized online. So, okay, I was wrong about that. Easy to admit. The thing is, what are liberals doing? They're now trying to throw that into the face of conservatives. Because most conservatives were like, okay, we're sick of this shit. We're sick of this far left extremist bullshit. We're going to start fighting back. That's a completely valid reaction to what's been happening over the last few years. That is a valid reaction. Anger and just frustration and being fed the fuck up with stuff like this. So it seemed like it was going to be a far leftist. Nope, it was a far right. So liberals are throwing it in conservatives' face. Oh, it was one of you. No, it was not a conservative person. This is a far right extremist terrorist. That's not conservative. That's not normal people. Conservatives are normal people. They just don't agree with liberals. And that's completely fine. So, two things to close out. Two things. Stop going after the guns. It wasn't the gun I thought it was going to be. It was a hunting rifle. You're not going to ban that. You can't ban hunting rifles in this country. You can't. And even if you did, you're not going to get rid of them. Not going to happen. We need to stop that right there. That is never going to happen. And it doesn't matter if I want it to or not. It's not going to happen. You can regulate as much as you want. You could send strike teams out to find guns. You're not going to get rid of them all because there's more guns in this country than people. So you take them away from people that use them for normal everyday things like hunting or protection. And then the only people left are people that want to hurt other people with guns. People like Charlie Kirk's assassin will have guns. So stop that argument right there. I'm sick of it. I'm tired of it. It's not going to happen. What people need to be tackling is obvious. It is so obvious to conservatives. Radicalization, either in colleges or online, internet forums, even other families, whoever is convincing these young kids that people who aren't just like them are the enemy. People who aren't just like them are demonic. People who aren't just like them should not exist and should die and should have harm brought upon them. That's the problem. What do you call that? It's called mental health issues. It is mentally unwell to assume that just because someone's talking and saying things you don't like, that you should kill them. That is a mental health issue. It can't be said any other way. The guy that was sitting behind Arena Zarutsky, I hope I didn't say the name wrong, on the train in Charlotte, just got up and stabbed her. That is a mentally unwell man. And mentally unwell people kept allowing him out on the street without treatment. That's what killed that girl. Mentally unwell people online influenced Charlie Kirk's assassin, made him more mentally unwell, and then he went out and shot a man who was not breaking the law, just exercising his First Amendment rights, and that's it. Constantly, school shooters. The last big school shooting we had. Okay, we had a school shooting the day of Charlie Kirk's assassination in Colorado somewhere. A mentally unwell kid that decided he needed to kill people. Every school shooting is a mentally unwell person, either a teenager or a young man, almost every time, that is mentally unwell and radicalized online or by other people like him, more mentally deranged people, to commit acts of violence. These are mentally unwell people. I can't say it over and over and over and over. I can say it 1,000 fucking times, and it still is not drilled into the heads of liberals enough that that is the problem. Where do we start? You start with mental health. Jesus. I don't know how to fix that again. I've said that before. I don't know how to fix that. But until both conservatives and liberals agree on that, until they agree that mental health is the fucking problem, this will continue. The beatings will continue until morale improves. It's like insanity. What's the definition of insanity? You keep trying to say the same thing, you get the same result. I'm insane right now. I keep saying the same shit, but nobody wants to fucking listen. Millions like me keep saying the same things, but nobody wants to listen. I found my Zico chocolate coconut water. It's hard to find. It tastes really good. I love it. Go have a go.